Good night, Wink.
Good night, Dan.
His glove touched the canvas. It is a knockdown. And he wants to finish Morales right here. Morales shakes his head as if to say, I want no more. Perfect left hook, decked by Orton. He was born with that left hook, Manuel. It came right out of the cradle.
My mom always told me don't use the word hate. I have nothing but love for you.
It's a round in which Mayweather has seemed to land virtually every punch he wanted to. And Mayweather is badly hurt by the low blow. Boom! Big right hand for Taylor. Left hand lands for right.
Any man who comes in the ring has my respect.
Shane continuing to work that eye, and Joe Cortez says, that's it. Mosley beating Vargas to the punch mercilessly.
Failure is not an option for me at all.
Boom! That's what heavyweights are supposed to do. Oh, that right hand should do it. Brilliant. Valua closed the show. Pereira trying to resurrect the old magic. They trade shots to end the round.
Oh, my God.
Another big shot, and this time Arturo Gatti is absolutely ruined. Boxing gets a shot in the arm.
This is my home, my heart, my life, my dreams. It all started here.
And now, HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing.
Presentation of HBO Sports.
And new undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
In 2005, rising star Jermaine Taylor did the improbable. His two razor-thin decisions over longtime champ Bernard Hopkins served as coronation for the new king of the middleweights. He pulled it off. He pulled it off, and the long reign of Bernard Hopkins is over. Last June, Taylor's championship medal was tested right away when he stepped into the ring against another of boxing's elite, Winky Wright. Boom! Big right hand for Taylor. Now Wright goes to work to the body, and Taylor thrashes him upstairs. 1 minute to go, and this minute may decide whether Jermaine Taylor can hold on to the middleweight championship. 12 grueling rounds later, the best two middleweights in the world had fought to a draw, and Taylor retained his championship.
If he wanted the title so bad, he should have fought all 12 rounds. That's what I did. I fought all 12 rounds.
Now Jermaine Taylor defends his title in his hometown of Little Rock, Arkansas, against former 154-pound belt holder Kassim Ouma, who brings his high-octane style into the middleweight division for the first time. Ouma continues to move him backward, throwing 15, 20, 25 shots. Tonight, Ouma steps into the Razorbacks' den to try to spoil Taylor's homecoming. Taylor Ouma for the middleweight title, next. Welcome to this year's final edition of World Championship Boxing, brought to you live in high definition from North Little Rock, Arkansas, where tonight, hometown hero middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor takes on former 154-pound world title holder Kassim Ouma. But before that, a welterweight fight scheduled for 10 rounds between undefeated 23-year-old knockout prospect Andre Berto and Miguel Figueroa. In the Alltel Arena in North Little Rock, a crowd of about 10,000 is expected for Jermaine Taylor's homecoming. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to an unusual edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing. Not unusual because Jermaine Taylor is fighting at home in defense of his middleweight championship. After all, you saw one of his primary foils in the world of boxing, Winky Wright, fighting at home last week en route to a victory over Ike Quartey. Unusual tonight is a scoring experiment fostered by one of the governing bodies for whom Taylor holds the middleweight title belt. Because of that governing body's decision to try an open scoring experiment here in this arena, the scores for the Taylor-Ouma fight will be recited by ring announcer Michael Buffer after the 4th and again after the 8th rounds. It should give us an interesting glimpse as to what happens to the fighters, the fans, the judges, etc. when an open scoring experiment of this type is tried. For more on tonight's action, let's turn to HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, the homecoming for Winky Wright of St. Petersburg went really well in Tampa last week. What do you forecast for Jermaine Taylor's homecoming tonight?
Well, the fight itself, if you believe the numbers, should be twice as good. Winky was a 10-1 favorite. Taylor is a 5-1 favorite, and he's promising to go for a knockout, which could turn this homecoming into a raucous love fest. Having survived the gauntlet of Hopkins and Wright, neither of whom had ever been stopped, he feels that he has to show once again that he can be the crowd-pleasing fighter he envisions himself to be. If he is, Little Rock will rock.
Little Rock may rock indeed for the beloved Jermaine Taylor. We told you about the open scoring experiment. For more on that, let's turn to the world's most prominent retired fighter, former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. And Lennox, as a fighter, what's your take on the scoring experiment? Would you want to know as a fighter what the scores are at those two increments during the fight?
As a fighter, I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know if I'm ahead or if I'm winning, because if I'm not, then I'm going to change my whole tactic. So it's very important for me to know.
That's not surprising, and Jermaine Taylor's promoter Lou DiBella acknowledges that tonight's scoring experiment could be, before a home crowd, a big advantage for Taylor. What about as a fan, Lennox? Do you want to know?
As a fan, I want to know. I want to know if the judges are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. So as a fan, I want to know, especially if my fighter's in there, I want to rear him on and tell him that he's losing the fight and give him more encouragement. So as a fan, I definitely want to know.
And you'll hear a different point of view later on, I'm sure, from Larry Merchant. Let's take a look now at the tail of the tape for our first fight of the evening, Andre Berto against Miguel Figueroa. Berto almost made the United States Olympic team in 2004. Wound up fighting for the Haitian team in Athens. Meanwhile, he's 23 years old. He's 5 years younger than Miguel Figueroa, who's essentially a journeyman from Camden, New Jersey. Half-inch height advantage for Berto. Arm length advantage of 1 inch measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for Miguel Figueroa. They both weighed in under the 147-pound limit. Tonight, Berto's going to come in at a booming 158. Figueroa, 153. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Andre Berto Miguel Figueroa fight is scheduled for 10 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim!
All right, thank you very much, Harold. Here's Figueroa, the foil for this Berto showcase. Like so many fighters in this position, Larry, his mantra is, Berto hasn't fought anybody, he's never seen anybody like me. I'm going to take this inexperienced, wet behind the ears fighter apart.
Well, he does represent a step up for Berto. Berto's handlers are hoping, at the very least, that he can get some rounds out of this fight. He's only fought beyond 4 rounds to 6 once. And perhaps, if Figueroa can be believed, he can test the chin of Berto, who as an amateur, not as a professional, did have some problems in that area.
We mentioned that Andre Berto fought for Haiti at the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece. As you watch Miguel Figueroa waiting in the ring now for Berto to come in. Both of Berto's parents are Haitian. He was born in Miami, grew up in Winter Haven, Florida, was regarded as an amateur star with a great chance of making the American team, but was ultimately disqualified at the United States box office for roughhousing tactics. That's when the Haitians reached out and said, hey, both your parents are Haitian, fight for us, and he went to the Olympics for Haiti.
Roughhousing is the key word. His father was a fighter in the
mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts. He has a brother who is a mixed martial arts fighter, another brother who went to college on a wrestling scholarship. He knows how to roughhouse. He is extremely strong at this weight. Looks like a man. He's not a boy, even though he is a prospect.
Well, and as we work with the great puncher Lennox Lewis tonight, you'll be looking at Berto's punching prospects in the welterweight division. You see Lou DiBella putting his arm around his young charge there. Many think that Berto, partially because of his punching power, can be a force in years to come. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Alltel Arena here in North Little Rock, Arkansas, where tonight DiBella Entertainment is proud to present Alltel Wireless, home for the holidays evening of World Championship Boxing on HBO. Sponsored by StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets. The motion picture Rocky Balboa in theaters everywhere, Christmas 2006, and Alltel Wireless. All bouts tonight are sanctioned by the Arkansas State Athletic Commission. This bout is presented by DiBella Entertainment and Dash DiBella Promotions in association with Peltz Boxing Promotions. At ringside, the three judges scoring this contest on the 10-point system: Bill Morrison, David Sutherland, and Gail Van Oy. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Lawrence Cole. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Alltel Arena, North Little Rock, Arkansas, 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, official weight 146 3/4 pounds, professional record 24 victories, including 14 knockouts, 5 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Camden, New Jersey, Miguel the Flame Figueroa. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trimmed with silver, official weight 146 1/4 pounds. This 2004 U.S. Olympian now has a perfect professional record consisting of 15 bouts, 15 victories, including 13 knockouts. Fighting out of Winter Haven, Florida, the undefeated Andre Berto.
Berto, Figueroa, Miguel. Come on, Berto. Come on, bring it in the middle. All right, gentlemen. Gave your instructions early in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. Understood? Touch them up. Let's have a good fight. Good luck, brother.
Andre Berto is the kind of young fighter
Do I need to wait?
you'd like to buy stock in. He was a 180-pound running back in high school, he tells us.
Miguel, you ready?
He's fighting as a welterweight.
Incidentally, how confident is Berto? He says, if I'd focused on football, I'd have made the NFL. And he used to be called Forrest Gump in his town because he'd run home 2 miles from school and then run to the gym, often with his father driving the car behind him and bumping him in the legs with a bumper to keep him going. Lennox, Berto was Winky Wright's #1 sparring partner in preparation for his fight with Ike Quartey. What do you think of taking super prospects like Berto and putting them in as sparring partners with stars like Wright?
Well, Wright definitely wants the best sparring out there, and let me tell you, this guy is the best. So, you know, if you have good sparring, you're going to perform well in the ring.
But what about from Berto's point of view? Do you want to be in there with someone like Winky Wright?
Yeah, because you want to see how you stand with a good boxer like Winky Wright, and you know, they're definitely helping each other. I don't think they were sparring partners; they were definitely helping each other.
Hard right hand by Berto and a quick left hook. So he's gotten some leather onto Figueroa early, and you can see the explosiveness with which Berto punches. Figueroa took the 2 good shots pretty well. Now takes another right hand. Shakes his head as if to say, no, you haven't hurt me yet.
It'd be a good idea if he kept his left a little higher.
Yeah, and Berto says, all right, if you want to keep your hands up like that, how's your liver work? I'm going to check it with my left hand. Good left hook upstairs by Berto. Such good balance for a young fighter, Lennox.
He's got good balance, good punching power. You know, that's where biomechanics come in, so you can get that punching power. Very explosive.
Those are two good jabs by Miguel Figueroa, and Larry pointing out, Figueroa does indeed represent a step up in class. Berto had 2 4-round decisions early in his career, but as Larry points out, he's never had to go the distance in a fight longer than 4 rounds. I asked him yesterday if he had had some fights where he was pretty sure that the knockout wasn't going to come. He said, yeah, last time out against a good fighter named Creighton. I had to go to the 5th round, and I had given up on the knockout before I got it. That's probably the best way to get a knockout in a fight like that, Lennox, is to give up, right?
Yes.
Well, there was an interesting exchange there for a moment. Berto hit Figueroa clean on the chin, and the next thing that happened was Figueroa hit him back, and Berto stepped back to say, whoa, this is not what I'm used to.
Figueroa is keeping that right hand a bit low for my taste, and you know, you don't want to do that against a great left hooker like Berto.
Berto landing the right hand up the middle. Figueroa coming back with 2 left jabs, and Berto slips away to create a little bit more space. Bouncy on his feet as he sets up, and then he flattens out to get ready for that. And the uppercut really hurt Figueroa. The left hook was a beauty too. Figueroa in trouble, fires back with a left hook. Berto firing with more. And that last left hook almost knocked him through the ropes. That was quite a display.
Wow.
Fucking ring or fight away? I got the mouthpiece. You gonna get a fucking fight away? You can't get a fight away. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Stay off the ropes. For this shit. We train too hard for this shit. You hear me?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Chad, what's wrong with you? You get on your toes a little bit, right? Everything ain't gonna stand there and train for a war, all right? I think he's ready to go, but let's pick what's ready to go. Nice deep breath, baby. Come on, breathe on it. Breathe. That's all I want is you nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Want your hands high. Your hands high. Give me a little head movement back on your toes, okay? Touch this guy. He's there.
Oh, yeah, you see 2 looks at the uppercut right between the gloves. Figueroa tried to block it, but it wasn't in time.
Lawrence Cole, the referee in this fight, apparently has been rewarded for one of the worst commissions of a sin of a referee I have ever seen or heard of.
Telling the score to a fighter who had been cut and had a potential technical draw situation or technical decision situation on his hands, right, Larry?
Yeah, Marquez was badly cut, and he said to him, you don't have to keep going on, you're ahead on the scores. How he knew he was ahead on the scores, no one could possibly know. But he should have been suspended for a good long while rather than being rewarded here tonight.
But we're in Arkansas, neighboring Texas, where Cole works. And maybe there just aren't that many highly qualified referees in the area.
If that's what you call as qualified.
So round 2 begins, and you heard Figueroa's cornermen quite upset at him between rounds. We trained too hard for this. You didn't do what we told you to do. Usually, Lennox, that's because of what the other guy did.
It's true. He needs to do a little more because he's really making Berto control the tempo of this whole fight.
And Berto has found that he can land that uppercut. He might get a little too eager and throw it from too far out, but he knows now that's another viable weapon in the arsenal to go with a left hook to the body, which has landed, the left hook upstairs, which has landed, and the straight rights that he got in early in the fight.
And Figueroa shouldn't really stay by the ropes because what you do, you know, I'm always against boxers staying by the ropes, especially against a power puncher like Berto.
Well, you limit your options when you're against the ropes. You don't have very many places to go. Berto loves it. Okay, you want to stand there next to the ropes? I'll take my shots. Figueroa's corner asking him to try Berto's body, see if there's a vulnerability there. There's the uppercut again, and once again it snapped Figueroa's head back. This one finally partially blocked, who got some of the left glove in front of that last uppercut.
Figueroa doesn't seem like he's warmed up yet. seems to have a hard time getting it going.
Well, he's dry after a round and a half.
2 uppercuts by Berto. The left missed, the right landed, the right lands again. Figueroa's solution is to try to fight back and counter every shot. Berto blocking shots with his arms and some with his gloves. Kind of rolls his chin as if to say, come on, let's trade more. Berto landed 37 out of 96 punches in the first round. I think the work rate has been a little bit slower in this round, but nevertheless, he's landed some solid shots. That was a good left hook by Figueroa.
Well, he's gotten a little respect from Berto now with those right hands.
Monday night at 8 p.m., a special edition of Costas Now, featuring an exclusive interview with Sports Illustrated's Sportsman of the Year, Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat. December 26, catch the year-end installment of Real Sports as we take a look at the tragic story of 1984 Olympic downhill gold medalist Bill Johnson.
Understanding? Don't run from him. All right? Stay off the road. End up with the left hook. Stay off the road.
There's a big uppercut again by Berto. Straight through the gloves. As you can see, Figueroa squinging.
Figueroa's corner still searching for some answers as they get ready for round 3 with a very confident-looking Andre Berto. One ominous sign for Berto, Lennox. Like so many hard punchers, he holds his left hand a little low. Could that cause him problems later on?
A little bit. You know, really, if he's holding his hand that low, he needs to double jab. He needs to throw those double jabs out there to prepare for his heavy punches.
No push. That's what you did.
Yeah, once you throw a lot of jabs out there, you know, your opponent doesn't see the other punches coming because he's too busy worrying about your jab.
Let's see if Berto learns to gradually step up the jab rate as he throws his jab there and sets up a right hand.
I mean, he's so powerful, he can hurt anybody with his jab. Just hurt them with the jab, and they're not even worried about any other punch but that jab at the moment.
Yeah, the jab knocked him down.
Yeah, but Lawrence Cole didn't think it was a knockdown, Larry.
What happened?
He must have thought that Berto's foot was on Figueroa's foot.
Which is very possible.
I'll tell you, Figueroa can take a good punch, but can he take any more? Can't take them all night.
Don't want to take too many of it.
Yeah, the real question comes when you're about 5 or 6 rounds down, and then you're still getting tattooed like this, and that's when you begin to, in many instances, think of a soft spot on the canvas.
Well, but the interesting thing here to me is Berto now has to settle down and just fight. He can't just come like a whirlwind as he did in the first round for 3 minutes.
That's when you start the jab off. You got to be first out there. There you go. Be first again.
Don't pose and look at him. Get into position and throw a punch. And Berto threw a strong one, too. Swelling around both eyes now for Miguel Figueroa. Figueroa is one of those classic journeymen in the sense that he goes to the gym, he works, and really doesn't focus too much on who the opponent is or what they do. In fact, in his 9th professional fight, he fought the then legendary former Cuban amateur Joel Kassim Ouma Berto, who had won gold medals in 2 separate Olympics. Not only did he not have a clue who Kassim Ouma Berto was, he didn't even know he was a southpaw. And he caught a very embarrassing loss, to say the least. 2nd round knockout at the hands of Kassim Ouma Berto. In this instance, fortunately, somebody told him that Berto is a hard right-hand puncher. Different management, different group around Figueroa when that happened. Not the people who are here with him now, which includes trainer Frank Ward. Quite a number of welterweights who are rangier than Berto. Lennox, what do you think of his jab?
Right now he's got a good jab, but he's not throwing it right now. He's throwing a soft jab. He's really preparing for his power punch.
Still carrying the left. Still carrying the left. I need it up.
Come talk to him. Work the body. Soften him up.
Put a little water on his head. Rinse your mouth.
Listen to me. Take out these punches with that.
With that hand.
Take them out.
Stop straightening up.
Take them out.
Stop straightening up.
You get under punches. Keep your
Get
feet
under
right.
punches. Keep your feet right. You won't trip yourself, okay?
Snap, look. Snap.
Take a look at this replay, Lennox, and see if you think it was a knockdown.
No, he actually hit him on the shoulder with a jab, and I don't know why the referee still didn't count that as a knockdown, because he knocked him down.
Well, we can't see the feet.
Let's see
take
here.
a look at the feet here.
Doesn't look like he stepped on his toe at all.
No, he sure didn't. He missed the toe. I have no idea why that wasn't a knockdown.
Go, coach.
You have any idea, Larry?
Nope.
Well, that makes 3 of us. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
I don't know why it wasn't a knockdown either.
That makes
30 to 26, 3 rounds to nothing. Andre Berto. Jim, I got to tell you something. At the end of round 1, something interesting happened. In the last 5 seconds, Andre Berto knocked Miguel Figueroa into the ropes, and I'm telling you, his body went limp, and the ropes were holding him up. And in my mind, Cole should have called it a knockdown. He didn't call it a knockdown. I said, in my mind, it was definitely a 10-8 round because this guy was, virtually on the floor. The ropes were holding him up. 30 to 26, 3 to nothing, Berto.
Berto becoming more patient now, perhaps in recognition that he might not get the knockout, that he might have to go 10 rounds, that he's never gone anywhere near that distance before. And what is the insecurity of that feeling, Lennox?
No, what he's doing is throwing a good jab now, good snappy jab, and that's what he needs to do, realizing that he can't knock out the guy. So now he has to switch to the boxing. That shows a good boxer. When you can adjust your style like that, that's very important to adjust.
Berto has been fighting in various forms since about age 6 or 7. That's the age at which his father, as Larry mentioned, a mixed martial arts fighter, got him into it.
And he can't explain why he liked boxing, where the rest of the family went into some form of wrestling or other martial arts.
Incidentally, if you listen to introductions at the beginning of the fight, you might have heard the small factual misstep. He was not a member of the United States Olympic team in Athens, but rather a member of the Haitian Olympic team. Both parents were born in Haiti. Andre says they speak French. He and his brothers speak a little French, but not enough to use it around the household the way his parents do.
Figueroa seems happy to stay against the ropes. He's just waiting for a chance. He's looking for that opening. Hasn't come yet, but he's looking.
Is he fighting to survive, or is he looking for an opening?
He's looking for an opening. He realizes that he's up against a strong boxer, strong, powerful boxer, so he's being kind of cautious in there.
And they're having a little conversation there. I don't imagine it will go into the Smithsonian Institute, but they are talking.
Conversation. Berto's telling them, come on, let's do this thing. Let's punch. Let's fight.
Now, during the break between rounds 4 and 5, we're going to take a look at an interview which Larry conducted with Jermaine Taylor in his dressing room just a short time ago.
Jermaine, why is it so important for you to go for a knockout tonight?
Well, I'm not going to say that it's important, but it would be nice. Because my last couple of fights were very close. All of them was against great opponents. And now, I think it's time for me to go in there and just make a statement that I still have the punching power that I've always had.
Is it a statement for all your fans here, or do you want to remind yourself of who you thought you were?
I think it's both, Larry. I think I need to remind myself and my fans, because everybody be like, he still got it. It's been about 2 years since I had a knockout, so I think it's about time.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Thank you, Larry.
Jermaine Taylor versus Kassim Ouma in the main event, yet to come on this telecast. Meanwhile, Lennox, you really nailed that one. You said that in the last round what Berto had decided to do was to switch to throwing a jab. He threw 80 of them. 80 jabs in the 4th round for Andre Berto. He landed 17. 102 total punches overall. And it's amazing that a guy can throw 102 punches and not look frenetically busy. He still looks patient while he's throwing 102 punches.
Yeah, he's very calm in there. That's what you need to be a professional. Very calm, poised, have good reaction, and he has great reaction and power with that.
If you had ever thrown 80 jabs in a round, you'd have wiped out the whole division. Berto dropping his hands, inviting Figueroa to throw so that he can get a chance to retaliate. And when Figueroa doesn't throw, Berto just attacks behind the jab.
Figueroa looks hurt there.
Landing power punches. Figueroa keeps wanting to throw to look as though he's not hurt. Keeps wanting to play that bluffing game with Berto, but there's another uppercut and another. 2 uppercuts hurt Figueroa. What guts Figueroa has. His response to everything is to fight back.
Berto is finding out that sometimes you're going to fight guys and hit them with your best shots, and they're going to keep fighting you, and that's a very important lesson for a young fighter.
And now Figueroa gets in an uppercut.
Berto looks very comfortable in there, very poised, very relaxed.
And incidentally, he's in a 17.5-foot ring. Somebody said to me, well, the 17.5-foot ring must be to keep Ouma from running against Taylor. I said, no, Ouma doesn't run. That's not possible. If the 17.5 ring is to benefit anybody here, it's to benefit Andre Berto and give him a chance at showing something big. And it's worked. He's gotten in a lot of leather on Miguel Figueroa. Well, that's a good, quick left hook. Good body shot from Berto. Mixed in among the big stuff upstairs. Figueroa keeps jabbing, occasionally firing lefts and rights, and moving in a circle. Every time Figueroa stops the circle and stands still, Berto steps forward and starts firing.
And let me tell you, Figueroa looks sapped in there, like his energy level has dropped tremendously.
If you were in his corner, would you consider not wanting to see him get hit with the uppercut anymore?
Well, I'll definitely tell him, watch out for that uppercut. Because what he's doing is ducking into it.
Do you mean not wanting to fight anymore? Be hit by anything anymore?
That's my question, is if Lennox was in the corner, would you consider saying, hey, maybe the better part of valor is to go back to Camden now? He's getting hit too much. And particularly the uppercut. And he survives another round in which he was out on his feet.
And he's walking slowly to his corner.
What you do, man? Why are you standing up, goddamn? Bro, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. I'm going to stop it first. You want me to stop it? What's wrong with you? You're going to give the fight away. Shut up on the stool. Shut up on the stool. Shut up on the stool. What's wrong with you? This man is setting his pace. You're not doing nothing. What? What? Hey, Miguel. What'd you say? What are you doing? He can't make it. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Miguel? Come on. Take a dip. Come on, Miguel. You're going to do this to us. You're going to do this to your wife and all of it. You go through all this shit for this. This is what you wanted. Stay off the ropes, Miguel. This is what you wanted. You want to quit on the stool. That's what you doing. I don't want you to get knocked out. You going to quit on the stool? You want to quit? What's wrong with you? Miguel, don't quit on the stool. You hear me? You hear?
Here's a big left hook. You know, this kind of punches you're getting hit with, you're not going to survive them too many rounds after that.
I've never heard a trainer say to a fighter, do you want to quit on the stool? Because what he's really saying is, are you a quitter?
Power shots in 5. Berto 39 out of 76, 51%. Figueroa landed 8 punches in the round. I'm personally a little depressed that they decided to send him out for another round. I don't see the purpose. I don't think he wanted to fight the 6th round. I think he couldn't face the verbal challenge his trainer put on him.
Still looks sapped in there.
But he's trying to respond, trying to show courage. I give him all the credit in the world for the guts that Figueroa has shown, but I think he wanted to step away, was not allowed to do so. Berto just waiting for one of those rallies.
Figueroa really is just a target right now.
A target without headgear.
And I think Andre can sense that.
when a guy is a hard puncher, as Berto is, and the other guy is courageous and tough and has a pretty good chin and can hang in round after round without getting knocked down or out, that's when you see somebody get hurt.
Yes.
This is a lot of punishment accumulating for Miguel Figueroa.
Does it bother you, Lennox, that Berto has been hit with so many clean shots while he's trying to hit Figueroa?
Well, you know, he doesn't see any problem in there. He doesn't feel that he's in any danger. And he feels very comfortable, like I said, and, you know, he feels good about himself. And as you can see, he's very snappy, very powerful. He's just awesome in there right now. He's just a force to be reckoned with.
And finally, Lawrence Cole,
a good stoppage,
chooses the right moment in that round to get it over with and give Andre Berto another knockout victory.
He still hasn't gone beyond 6 rounds.
Scintillating display by Berto, a two-handed fighter with great skill and power, Lennox.
Unbelievable.
I don't know who they're going to put him in there with, unless it's an elite fighter who's going to take him more than 6 rounds.
That is Berto's father to the left in the shot. That's the man who trained him and raised him to be a fighter. Berto closed the show, landing 25 out of 34 power shots. I'm with you, Lennox. I think he was getting hit with clean shots as much as anything because they weren't hurting him, and he knew he could walk through them, and he wanted to keep throwing. Let's take a look at the sequence which finally prompted Lawrence Cole intelligently to stop the fight.
There you see it. He's just taking advantage of him in there. And I think that was a great decision by the referee to go in there and stop that kind of punishment. You know, we don't want to see a boxer hurt, but he was definitely getting hurt with the punches in there today.
So Andre Berto extends his record now to 15-0 with 13 knockouts. The 2 decisions, both 4-rounders, came in his 2nd and 4th pro fights. So he's got 11 consecutive knockouts now. And as Larry mentioned, hasn't gone out of the 6th round yet into the 7th. Here is Michael Buffer with the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Lawrence Cole steps in and calls a halt to the action. The official time, 1 minute, 59 seconds of round number 6. The winner by knockout victory, still undefeated, Andre Berto.
Final CompuBox numbers. And you see Berto landing 193 out of 510. That's 142 more landed punches than Figueroa. A broad mixture of jabs, uppercuts, left hooks, straight rights, left hook to the body. He throws just about everything and throws it well. Power shots for Andre Berto. 129 out of 270, 48% connect percentage. When a hard puncher like Andre Berto, I should say, lands 48% of his punches, his opponent, or his power punches in this instance, his opponent is going to be in trouble. Big trouble. And Figueroa was most of the way. So that's a big victory for Berto. He's 15-0. Larry says maybe the next opponent is an elite fighter. Mark your calendars for these boxing shows. December 16th, Boxing After Dark. Middleweight knockout artist Edison Miranda faces off with Willie Gibbs for 3 consecutive nights starting Monday, December 25. Tune in for HBO's Boxing's Best of 2006. Each night, we'll re-air one of our most memorable bouts from this past year. And in 2007, World Championship Boxing returns January 20. Ricky Hatton, moving back down to 140 pounds, fights for his old title, currently held by Juan Urango. A week later, a Boxing After Dark doubleheader featuring 115-pounder Jorge Arce and undefeated middleweight prospect Kelly Pavlik. Log on to HBO.com and register for the boxing newsletter for all the latest information. A chilly weekend in Little Rock. Big weekend in Arkansas sports. Razorback running back Darren McFadden was in New York. Jermaine Taylor is here. This show coming to you in high definition on HBO. And still to come tonight, the middleweight championship bout between local hero and undisputed middleweight champ Jermaine Taylor and Kassim Ouma of Uganda, one of the most fascinating personal stories in this or any other sport. As we mentioned, 10,000 filling the All-Tel Arena in North Little Rock to see their hometown hero, Jermaine Taylor. One of the intriguing elements of a situation like this where a star fighter fights at home is his interaction on a daily basis with those people who have known him all his life, knew him before he was a star fighter, in many instances knew him before he was a fighter. That's the way it is here for Jermaine Taylor in Little Rock. We're going to show you a little slice of that. You might want to think of this movie as Barbershop 3. I like to call it Little Rock's Lamborghini.
My name's Daryl Richardson. This is Level 2 Barbershop, 4700 West 12th here in Little Rock. This is where Jermaine come get his hair cut about twice a week.
Yeah, my boy Jermaine Taylor coming in, so we ought to get a lot of business in here today.
I've been getting my hair cut there since age 12. Everybody at the barbershop can see me grow.
I've been knowing Jermaine probably about 6-7 years. I knew him before he even went pro.
I've been cutting Jermaine's hair about 9-10 years now.
How do I feel about Level 2? I just love those guys.
What's going on, baby?
I feel like that I go in there, I can expect the truth. You know, if I didn't look too good, if I look like I need some work on this, if my trunks didn't look too good, I'll find out about it at the barbershop.
Yeah, when you came in from that last fight, what we call you,
Quasimodo. He had my eye all swole up out the last fight. You know, they came here, they called me Quasimodo. I don't even know who that is, but I know he got one eye.
I just laughed it off, man, because there ain't nothing I can do about it. It's the truth, man. I was shit.
You know I'm not gonna go in there and let you down. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to put me down. The only way I'm gonna let you down if I'm asleep. That's the only way. The only way I'm gonna let you down if I'm asleep. You know, if I'm on my feet, you know I'm fighting. It may not look good, but I'm fighting.
When he comes, he brings an aura about himself. Kids come around. He doesn't mind signing autographs, taking pictures with people. There's been days where he just pull out a wad of 20s and give every kid $20.
Jermaine, he comes back to the hood just to let the kids know you can do something positive with your life.
That's what knocking them boys I get you right there. Got a brand new Lamborghini. That's how we do it around here in Little Rock. Lamborghinis and stuff.
I don't want to let them down. I feel like that if I let them down, I'm letting a lot of people down, and I'm not gonna let that happen.
He's just the same guy he was before he won the title. He's way down to earth. Real cool guy, man. If you didn't know him, you wouldn't know he was the world champ, I tell you that.
Half of those guys that was in there, they're in there just every day. When I walk in the barbershop, I know and expect that I'm gonna hear something about boxing.
Every time you hit him with a shot, you shook him up. He moved with every shot. You know what I'm saying? But he hit you, you stayed right there. You know, took your shot, but
His shot was pity pat.
Yeah.
He trying to win on pity pat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win on busting you up.
Well, and the thing,
knock somebody out. Trying to hurt you.
And the thing on that,
that's all I know. I don't know pity pat.
I'm thinking about everything that's been said, even in training camp. You know, even in the middle of a fight.
Just don't have no pockets on your gloves, on your trunks like you did last time.
Oh, yeah?
Pocket.
I don't know if that car got there.
Oh, my hands down.
Well, you know.
I ain't talking about it. Hey, I told you boys, like that.
He like this.
What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, you know.
Like he got two pockets.
The majority of those guys always come to the fights. I don't care where they at. They always come. And they promise me that they'll never miss a fight. And as I'm leaving that place, I feel like I give those guys hope. This is home to me. That's all I know.
None of your business. Put your D together, though. Take the pockets off the trunks. This dude down, man.
I got it, but don't worry about that. I got everything taken care of.
After the fight.
All right, boy.
All right.
And as we bring you back to the arena, there's a good look at D-Rich, Daryl Richardson, the barber in the piece, here to take care of the official duty of making sure that Jermaine doesn't have any pockets in his boxing trunks tonight. Well, Larry, the official book on Taylor is that after having fought Bernard Hopkins twice and Winky Wright in 3 consecutive fights, he deserved the chance at an easy assignment. Does Kassim Ouma fill that bill?
Well, I think that Taylor could have fought Barat without too much objection. So to his credit, he's fighting a live, young fighter who cannot be completely dismissed. And he understands, Taylor, that even though he is now the middleweight champion of the world, that there still lacks in him a little bit of definition. Because for a couple of years we have not seen that sensational side of him. So, for him, taking on Ouma was not only to his credit, but a must. And incidentally, the crowd here, about 10,000 paid, is not met expectations, but the gate of over $1 million is the biggest ever in the state of Arkansas.
And the show is live in Arkansas, so you could have stayed home and watched it on HBO without coming to the arena. And in that context, the 10,000 plus doesn't look all that bad. Meanwhile, of course, there are a lot of people in Borat's movie who got punked so badly they might have liked to see Jermaine Taylor get a crack at him, and without open scoring. Lennox, we told the audience about tonight's open scoring experiment. Once again, the scores will be recited by Michael Buffer in the ring at the end of the 4th and 8th rounds. Now, a style question. If Jermaine Taylor is leading big after 8 rounds, does he put it in the deep freeze even though that's not his style?
No, I don't think he should put it in a deep freeze because that's not his style. He's the kind of guy that wants to see a knockout. He wants to have a knockout, so he's going to go out there, and he loves to fight. He loves that to fight, to mix it up. So he's definitely going to go in there and try and knock him out.
Kassim Ouma is not a particularly hard puncher, definitely not a knockout puncher. What if he's way behind after 8 rounds? Does he go out and try to get the knockout, which really isn't his style?
Not his style, but, you know, if he really wants it, if he's hungry, if he's got a lot of heart, he's definitely going to go in there and give it his all.
And there are these rare occasions when you and the audience get the tremendous excitement of seeing Harold Letterman, our unofficial ringside judge. I'm asked all the time, what does Harold look like? Harold, this is what you look like.
That's
now,
what I look like.
Tell us how the open scoring experiment will affect the judges.
Well, Jim, to tell you the honest to God's truth, open scoring was made to get rid of controversial and bad decisions. I mean, that was the idea of it. Now, let's say that Jermaine Taylor is ahead 3 rounds to 1 on 2 judges' scorecards, and Kassim Ouma is ahead 3 rounds to 1 on the 3rd judge's scorecard. Well, if you announce the scores at the end of the 4th round, in the 5th round, that guy that's got a 3-1 Ouma is going to say, what am I doing wrong? And he's probably going to score the 5th round 3-1 Jermaine Taylor, no matter how the round goes. So you're going to take honest judges, and you're going to influence them to score rounds the way they're not really seeing them, and that's bad. I think we're going to have more controversy instead of less controversy with open scoring.
Well, we're having a lively discussion about it, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, on which I don't think we'll be revealing anything too terribly indiscreet. Taylor, 28 years old. Ouma will be 28 on Tuesday. They're not very far apart in age, but they are very far apart in height. Taylor measured at 6'1". He's a very big middleweight. Ouma moving up from 154. His body is 5 feet 8. He had to do a lot of work and put on muscle through weightlifting, which he's never done before, to get to 160 pounds. An arm length advantage of 1 inch for Taylor, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, but it translates to an 8-inch reach advantage using the old traditional reach measurement. They both weighed in under the 160-pound limit. And tonight, Jermaine Taylor has gone up to 166. Not all that much rehydration. Suggests he's in really good shape. Ouma, 164. Rules of the bout with, you just saw him, Harold Letterman.
For 12 rounds, using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell on any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim!
A brief recitation now of the story that must be told every time you watch Kassim Ouma fight. At the age of 7, he was kidnapped from his tiny village in northern Uganda by rebel militia in a civil war, forced to fight as a killer in the militia for the next several years, eventually captured by the government army, was not allowed to go home, was forced to fight for the government for several more years, eventually saw an opportunity to get into a boxing program in the Ugandan army, and when he came to the United States on an amateur trip to San Antonio, he defected. His life here, Larry, has also been tumultuous. He's the subject of a political controversy ongoing between the USA and Uganda, but he has thrived in the prize fight ring.
Well, I think as long as he is a prominent fighter, he'll have some kind of edge in getting his citizenship restored and getting pardoned by the army over there. He told us, incidentally, that as a soldier, he's spent time in virtually every part of Uganda, and that he can speak 40 different dialects.
Well, prolific is his game. Speaks 40 dialects, throws more than 100 punches per round. It's not uncommon to see Kassim Ouma against lesser opponents than somebody like Jermaine Taylor throw 130 punches in a round. In other words, he's a windmill who Lennox doesn't mind getting hit, and that could hurt him tonight.
Well, I think his defense is his offense. When you throw so many punches, you don't have time to think about defense, so it's very important to think about defense. And here's Jermaine Taylor right now coming into a ring.
And Jermaine Taylor, because Ouma throws so much and is seen to be open, has focused Larry on accurate power punching. He'd love to have a knockout.
It's quite remarkable, really, that a middleweight champion could come out of this Arkansas, which is a cold bed of boxing. Never been anything like them in this state. It's like finding oil under Times Square. I got a question, Jim. Bigger odds finding a middleweight champion of the world from Arkansas or a president of the United States?
Hey, they elect the president every 4 years. That's easy. Middleweight champion of the world. The hero's welcome for Jermaine Taylor in Little Rock. Not the first time he's fought here. It's the first time he's fought here since becoming middleweight champion of the world. And now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Alltel Arena, North Little Rock, Arkansas, DeBella Entertainment is proud to present, for the first time in over 100 years, World Championship Boxing in Arkansas. Brought to you in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Peltz Boxing Promotions. Sponsored by Alltel Wireless, StubHub, the place where fans buy and sell tickets, and the motion picture Rocky Balboa. In theaters everywhere, Christmas 2006. Sanctioned by the World Boxing Council and the World Boxing Organization. And the Arkansas State Athletic Commission Chairman, Gary Harrell. Commissioner at ringside, Johnny Mattingly. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be from the United States, Tommy Kazmarek. From Italy, Sergio Silva. And from Canada, Jack Woodburn. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action from the United States, Frank Garza. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Alltel Arena, Little Rock, Arkansas, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green, official weight 158 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 25 victories, including 15 knockouts with only 2 defeats, 1 draw, and 1 no decision. Originally from Kampala, Uganda, now living, training, and fighting out of West Palm Beach, Florida, the challenger, Kassim the Dream Ouma. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, official weight 159 1/2 pounds. Since capturing the Olympic bronze medal in 2000, he has a professional record consisting of 25 victories, including 17 knockouts, with 1 bout even. He is the fighting pride of Little Rock, Arkansas, the undefeated, reigning, defending, universally recognized, undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor.
All right, Mike. A little crowded up here, huh? Okay, guys, I already went through the rules in the dressing room, and I went over the belt line. Both of you got them right up there. I'm going to give you both just the very top of that, very top of it. I'm giving you both the very top. Touch them up, come out at the bell. May the best man win.
You may have seen that little pawing at the canvas, a bull move that is being used by other athletes around the country now, in football particularly. The question is whether Ouma, as the shorter of the two men, can make a disadvantage into an advantage by getting inside Taylor.
Kassim Ouma was knocked down in his second to most recent fight by Juan Carlos Rubio in Las Vegas. Knocked down in the first round, then came back and dominated the fight the rest of the way to win it. He was knocked down by Roman Carmazan in his worst night, a loss in July of '05. Now there's a lot of leather being landed in the first round, as just as you might have suspected, Ouma's open offensive style has given Jermaine Taylor the chance to land a couple of early hard shots, Lennox.
Well, he needs to be more tight and more relaxed. He's pretty uptight right now.
He being Jermaine?
Yeah, Jermaine is very uptight right now.
And he wobbles Ouma back off his feet with a big hard uppercut. The size differential is showing up in round one.
Well, Ouma's trying to get inside. Taylor backing off a step and a half before he goes forward, as he did just there to keep Ouma from being able to crowd him.
Good little left hand inside by Kassim Ouma. Moved Jermaine Taylor to one side. Taylor trying to land that uppercut again. Ouma lands a right hand. Taylor comes back with a hard right hand of his own. Accurate power punching is the mantra for Taylor. Ouma hasn't yet been able to let his hands go in such a way as to throw the 100 or so punches he'd like to throw. He's getting hit too much for that, and he's getting hit too hard.
And Taylor is being much too wild for an experienced fighter.
Which is typical Jermaine Taylor. Lennox, he simply still lacks craft even at this point of his career.
Well, I know Emmanuel's going to tell him when he comes back to the corner. He's going to tell him to settle down a little bit and take it easy. You know, control everything, set it up with the jab, and that's what he needs to do.
You know, you can spend too much money trying to get a knockout early.
But he throws a sharp jab and a hard right hand there. And again, when Jermaine lands solidly, the size differential definitely shows up. He was looking for a knockout with that right hand and went right over the top of Kassim.
Yeah, he's winding up a bit too much. He definitely needs to settle down. And, you know, this is what happens in the first round. You know, after the first round, you get to settle down a little bit.
Lennox, I can remember one really bad night for you in London. I can remember some great nights for you in London. What was it like for you to fight at home?
It's difficult because there's a lot of pressure on you, and you know, a lot of fans.
No punches, step back, no shoulders.
A lot of fans out there, and you know, you're at home with your people, so you feel comfortable. But it's always difficult,
right?
Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor is obviously very eager to impress here, and has done some good damage in the first round, but has also thrown wild shots, has been at times off balance, has shown the one remaining weakness that continues to haunt him, which is a basic lack of boxing craft.
Settle down. You're too wild right now.
Stay down.
You're throwing right hands and they're landing on the side. You're moving his body because you're so strong, but you're not landing them clean. Just relax. Short breaking shots more up through the center. You understand? You're throwing the right hands. You're too wild. Just settle down. Work your jab. Work your jab.
Okay, you gotta wait. Wild job, that's what you gotta hit. You gotta hit the tackle. Look at the ring. Don't look outside. Right. Don't look outside.
I'm with you.
You gotta set close. You gotta set close. Don't mix it with him.
And here comes that big right hand inside. You know, when Jermaine throws that right hand, he kind of telegraphs it a little bit.
Kassim Ouma got off only 55 punches in the first round. That's about half a round for him in terms of normal punch output. Why? Jermaine Taylor landed 27 out of 74. Not all that bad. Landed 5 out of 18 jabs. Landed a couple of hard shots.
Watch your heads, watch your heads. Step back.
CompuBox tells us that's the largest number of power punches Jermaine Taylor has ever landed in a round. That's how open Ouma was.
Unhook his arm.
Ouma boxes very relaxed, and that's good for him. Defense is pretty tight.
Watch your head. Watch
Taylor
your head coming up.
is determined to impose his size and strength on Ouma.
Landed a really hard body shot.
No, punch him.
Ouma has occasionally flinched. He closed his eyes a couple times when Taylor hit him hard, but he's trying to keep walking forward and come through it. He's trying to be Kassim Ouma despite the leather he's facing.
He definitely wants to be close to Jermaine. He has better results when he's a lot closer.
Watch your head, both of you
Jermaine
guys.
Taylor was
Watch your
criticized
head.
for backing up too
Watch
much
your
against
head.
Winky, right? He had a couple of quotes here indicating you won't see me back up. I'm coming forward the whole time. Once again, he's backing up, looking to find space to punch.
Well, I think against Winky, the criticism was he laid on the ropes too long and couldn't change his plan in the middle of the fight. He couldn't adapt.
That was the bigger criticism for sure. There were several. Just as there were several criticisms of Taylor against Bernard Hopkins.
Ouma's not giving Taylor any room whatsoever. He's staying right on top of him.
Step back, step back.
Isn't that his only chance?
That is his only chance. He's doing a good job at it right now.
Jermaine Taylor tries to back Kassim Ouma off with a body shot. Ouma seems to have weathered the early storm in terms of tasting and gauging Taylor's power. He's getting a little bit closer to that position where he can try to go forward and throw the bushels of punches that define Kassim Ouma, but still not approaching his previous punch outputs. One thing about Jermaine Taylor that's good, Lennox, while we're criticizing his craft, his response to every challenge or crisis in the ring is to fight harder. He has a fighter's heart.
Yeah, he definitely has a fighter's heart in there. He loves to fight, loves to mix it up.
Unhook him, Jermaine. Step back.
Ouma trying to find a pace that'll give him a rhythm, chance to throw punches in bunches.
Let him go, let him go.
One of the things Ouma said to us about his prospects in this fight, he said, hey, the way Jermaine went into the corners and let Winky Wright land 1, 2, 3, I'll land 6 punches.
Bell. Okay, Bell.
For 3 consecutive nights starting December 25 at 11 p.m., tune into Boxing's Best of 2006. We'll show you Jermaine Taylor versus Winky Wright, Oscar De La Hoya's knockout of Ricardo Mayorga, and finally, Manny Pacquiao's 2 wins over Eric Morales.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Just keep the pressure. Keep the pressure. Just stay inside there, right? You're doing good. Just keep the pressure. He's going.
Bob, there ain't no in early. And if it do, it do. But don't go out trying to make it in because it ain't ready.
Emmanuel Stewart urging Jermaine Taylor to be more patient.
Stay in your corner.
He's thrown some wild shots in the first 2 rounds. Ouma, who only got off 55 punches in the first round, got off only 53 in the second round. So Taylor has effectively limited Kassim Ouma's chance to win rounds because he's just not fighting the Kassim Ouma fight, not getting 100 punches off. Taylor 22 out of 56, including 19 out of 41 power shots. He's still landing. Good left hook by Jermaine Taylor. Stunned Ouma. Now Kassim keeps coming forward. When he's motivated and in shape, it's hard to hurt Kassim Ouma. And of course, you cannot resist the estimation that everything he's experienced in his horrific life has made it difficult for him to feel the kind of pain in the ring that some other fighters would feel. Taylor doing a good job of blocking punches in the corner there. Ouma not as crafty inside as Winky Wright.
Let him go off his head, off his head. Let him go, unhooking. Off his head, let him go, let him go, let him go. Step back, step back.
Lennox, should Taylor be constantly moving backward to create space, or is there another way to attack Ouma?
He should definitely step back to create a little space, but make sure he doesn't go on the ropes. Make sure Ouma doesn't catch him on the ropes, but he should throw shorter combinations. He's being a bit too wild right now, expending a lot of energy when he doesn't need to. What he needs to do is throw that jab. Throw that jab to create a lot more openings. Right now he's just waiting, which is a mistake.
Become a kind of a pattern.
Yeah, he's coming just with power punches when he should be throwing a lot more jabs in there. He hasn't thrown that many jabs in this round right now. He needs to throw a lot more.
And frankly, Jermaine Taylor, when he throws his jab and commits to it, has a good jab. It might be his very best weapon. It disappeared to a certain extent against Hopkins, although he used it extremely well in the second fight. And it disappeared for much of the time against Winky Wright.
That's why it's always important never to go in there thinking that you want to knock the person out, because, you know, it may not come.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart urging him, if it do, but otherwise forget about it, because you're not going to get it by thinking knockout.
Let him go, unhooking, step back.
And of course, the trouble with constantly backing up against Ouma to look for punching room is that you can make it look as though Ouma is backing you up. In his last fight against Saku Powell in New York, Powell backed up all night looking to find punching room, landed the harder shots, but the impression was created that Ouma overwhelmed him with punch output.
No leaning on him.
Good 1-2 to finish the round for Jermaine Taylor, and Kassim Ouma touches gloves with him as if to say, that was a good one.
You got one or two minutes. The shot through the center. If you watch when you throw punches at him, he goes this way anyway. Shoot him right through the center. Because he's putting pressure on your heads now. He's putting a lot of heat on you. If you wasn't punching as hard as you was, he could have ran you down. But shoot the right hands through the center. Don't throw them to the side. Because he's catching him by face and taking him apart, you know? You gotta throw your punches. You gotta throw your punches. All right? You gotta throw your punches, man. You know, you're giving your way down around. You're not throwing. Every time you get, don't let him hold you. Just sit on, dig that body. You gotta watch. Side to side.
There's a place in Arkansas called the Crater of Diamond State Park where people occasionally pick up clumps of dirt or stone that turn out to be crude diamonds. Right now, what we're looking at in Jermaine Taylor is a crude diamond.
Harold, how do you have it through three?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Jermaine Taylor. Jim, this guy fights great for a guy that backs up all the time. He backs up, he nails you with a left jab, he comes across with that real good straight right hand, and then he ties you up, just like he did there. You know, I mean, he's not really holding, he's just tying up, but he's landing the clean, effective shots. Jermaine Taylor, 3-0 on clean punching.
Taylor landing two good lefts as he backed up there.
Okay, unhooking. Step back, step back.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart asking Jermaine Taylor to throw down the middle. Taylor's had an increasing tendency in the last three fights to wing shots.
Unhooking. Step back, Jermaine.
Jermaine should definitely try and keep the fight in the middle of the ring, because what he does, he's backing up until he reaches the ropes, and that's when he decides to fight. He needs to fight from the middle of the ring to the ropes.
He continues, however, to use his power effectively to limit Kassim Ouma's punch output, so that Ouma has not yet gotten the chance to fight in his rhythm and his style. Really, he hasn't gotten a chance to beat Kassim Ouma in the ring. Ouma's coming forward and wanting to throw, but he has to be careful about letting his hands go because of Jermaine. Hard right hand. That may have hurt Ouma. He ducks and slips, and does not yet throw again.
Ouma wants him to throw. Ouma wants him to expel all his energy. He feels that Jermaine can't hurt him, and he wants to force him to fight right now. And that's what he's doing. He's applying a lot of pressure to him.
So then Emmanuel Stewart will probably begin asking Jermaine to fight at a measured pace and conserve a little energy in the middle of the fight.
Let go of the ropes. Let go of the ropes. Step back, Jermaine.
Crowd is chanting JT, JT, JT. Another hard right hand by Jermaine Taylor. Stunned Ouma in the center of the ring. Well, you're right about that, Lennox. If they're in the center of the ring, Jermaine Taylor has free reign.
Step back.
He's definitely, he needs to stay in the middle of the ring, because right now, if Ouma gets him on the ropes, that's where he doesn't want to be.
Well, maybe he's learning something from the right fight.
He has learned something.
He did better in the middle of the ring, but he told us he didn't feel like he was doing well in the middle of the ring.
What do you think he learned, Lennox?
He learned that when you back up against the ropes, don't stand there and get hit. Tie up the guy. Don't allow the guy to hit you. Tie him up.
Let your hands go like that and dominate the action. That was a good round for Jermaine Taylor. He busted Ouma with some big right hands.
Red, you're just walking in. That's why you're getting cold. You're not doing nothing. All right? You got to. Okay, listen. Time to go cut him one way. You can't do it.
Oh, too much. And your jab, don't forget, your jab is still your best punch, believe it or not, because you get him watching that damn jab, he won't see them right hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scoring at this point after 4 rounds, all 3 judges scored at 40 to 36 in favor of
and here you see a good right hand by Taylor. Straight on the chin. Ouma just brushing it off. Here's a combination. Ending him with a left hook. Ouma just eating him up right now, not really affecting him too tough.
And by the way, they both threw 43 punches in the 5th round. Through the first 4 rounds, Taylor has thrown more punches than Ouma. That's amazing. That's an upset. That tells you how Jermaine Taylor has gotten the better of Ouma with his power. So, Harold, they announced the scores. It's 40 to 36 Taylor on all 3 cards. What does that mean now?
Well, certainly the fans are happy. Kassim Ouma knows he's got to come on and start to pick up the pace and try to catch up to this guy. I mean, he knows he's behind 4 rounds.
Can he pick up the pace anymore? This is the question.
If he does, he might get hit more. And Taylor has the security of knowing that he's got a 4-point bulge on the scorecard, which could help to settle him down. Hard left hooks to the body by Taylor. Again, the feeling is if each of them lands 20 punches in a round, Taylor's are going to be much harder. And that'll be the difference in the fight. It's playing out exactly that way to this point.
But Ouma is showing some real true grit by the way he is taking the punches of Taylor. Taylor is fighting like a brawler in this fight, less like a boxer puncher than we've seen him.
I want you to watch the holding now, okay? Time in. Box.
Well, to be truthful, he's not being allowed to box, really, because there's so much pressure being applied by Ouma right now. He's not being allowed to do what he does naturally, and that's box.
Ouma shifty, getting in a right hand to the body.
Punch out of there. Come on, punch out.
Ouma looking to step up his energy level a little bit, put more pressure on Jermaine. And Jermaine's left eye is beginning to swell. That's the eye that swelled shut.
It actually looks cut.
In the fight against Winky Wright. Bleeding below the eye.
And Ouma is coming on.
And if Taylor's bleeding below the eye, then that blood probably comes from a punch. You don't see many headbutt cuts below the eye. And indeed, there's blood on Jermaine Taylor now as it begins to drip.
And I think it's above the eye, really.
Hard right hand by Taylor, and another big one. And a big left hook. 3 hard shots. What a chin Kassim Ouma has at 160 pounds.
Break. Step back.
And another big right cross.
Break.
And Ouma's punch output continues to lag way behind where he's been in previous fights. He threw 1,300 punches in one fight.
Once again, blood dripping down the left side of Taylor's face. We've seen him with blood before in the first fight with Bernard Hopkins.
And this cut is above the eye. All right, let me correct myself. Not below. The blood obscured it. The cut is above the eye, and we're going to watch as the cut man goes to work.
Accident on the butt.
I heard Emmanuel Stewart say it was an accidental butt.
Accidental headbutt.
And there's Frank Garza's opinion.
How you feeling, buddy? You got off track with your butt, then you got back on track. Just keep doing what you're doing and get back to work at that jab. That'll make him have to hesitate. You've got to get your left hand to going. But you fight a good fight. Because he's put the best fight I've ever saw him fight in his life. Okay? So just keep working back with your jab. Oh, no.
When you're a champion, you have to expect that every opponent is going to be better than he's ever been before.
Bounty bounce numbers in 5. Taylor 20 out of 42. Ouma 15 out of 51. Kassim Ouma normally throws twice that many punches in his good rounds. Taylor 16 out of 33 power shots, and some of them were very big right hands. So Ouma is trying as best he can to put an imprint on the fight, but Jermaine Taylor just keeps hitting him with large shots and stopping the action when he does.
Off his head, off his head. My break. No.
Kassim Ouma will hustle and hustle and hustle.
Step back.
What happens, you know, Kassim Ouma's coming in pretty fast, and, you know, sometimes he's smothering himself.
My break.
Define smothering himself.
Well, he's not allowing himself punching room to be able to punch.
Step back.
Getting there in a hurry without throwing anything as he goes. Ouma may be doing that partially because when Taylor gets the throw from range, that's where the power differential really shows up.
My break. No punches.
Ouma's been crowding Jermaine in this round, but not throwing enough.
Break. Step back.
Blood continues to trickle from the little cut outside and above the left eye of Jermaine Taylor. As we told you, referee Frank Garza ruled it was the product of an accidental butt.
Break. Step back. My break. Step back.
In case you've just joined us, once again, we're watching a fight that has an open scoring experiment attached. Scores were announced in the arena after 4 rounds, and Jermaine Taylor had won all 4 of the rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards. So he should be very secure now, fighting with a lead in the 6th round.
Step back.
Ouma's showing terrific determination and courage as always. Hasn't really landed anything substantial with his gloves until right there when he landed a left and a right as he came in.
If I was Jermaine Taylor, I would stand my ground and push him back.
Well, particularly stand your ground in the middle of the ring where you have such big advantages when you throw like that and can show how much bigger a hitter you are. Big Taylor rally brings the crowd to its feet. Ouma raises his hands, but that's acting.
Big fella. All right. You're winning the fight. You won every round of the fight, okay? The good thing that he's coming in, but he can't land clean punches because you're slipping and sliding. But put the jab out just a little bit to give it slow it down a little bit. You understand? Just get the jab to work it a little bit.
How's it looking, right?
It's okay. It's cool. I got it. Get the jab to work, and it will slow him down a little bit more. And keep doing what you're doing. When y'all get in close, keep walking forward. Keep pushing him back. Okay? Map, please.
CompuBox numbers in round 6. Kassim Ouma finally got it rolling a little bit through 76 punches. His high output in the fight, he landed 19. But Jermaine Taylor was 28 out of 52. And several of them were big power shots. And he finished the round with a big rally. And you heard Emmanuel Stewart say to Jermaine, "You've won every round in the fight."
I was looking forward to the open scoring experiment here,
Watch those hands. Watch those hands.
just to see how the crowd would react and so on. But what we're going to get to is Taylor being way ahead, and then how is he going to fight the rest of the fight?
Well, particularly with blood streaming down from a cut over his eye.
There have been a large number of experiments over the years of open scoring, and the one constant is that fighters who have been ahead, for the most part, have frozen the ball.
And you see Taylor pawing at his eye with his left glove. Shows you that the trickle of blood is somewhat bothersome to him. He wants to keep the eye clear. He's pausing to do that every once in a while, even while trying to win the round with big punches like that. And Ouma just coming forward, coming forward, coming forward. The worker bee trying to throw.
Ouma wants to get in there so fast. He almost looks like he's running in there.
Over and over. It's the kind of will and determination which has wilted a lot of opponents for Kassim Ouma. Opponents who tire of watching him come at them, come at them, come at them the way he does. But for Taylor, it's working out.
But he's still backing up. Emmanuel Stewart asked him not to back up between rounds. He just can't help himself.
And now he backs him off with a couple of right hands. And strafes him with rights again.
Almost seems like there's no stopping this Ouma. He's just coming forward. He's taking everything and just brushing it off and still coming forward.
Step back, let him up, no punching. Step back. Let him go, let him go. Let him go, Jermaine. All right, I know what thing. Step back, step back.
First 7 rounds had looked fairly similar. Jermaine Taylor, still questionable craft. You can't question whether he's winning.
Let me get a woman. All right, baby. Let's that was good. But now, let's start throwing some combinations from keep on throwing that jab. Go with the jab inside. Don't wait for him, all right? Right? Yeah, that's it.
Energy. Tie him up, walk him back when you tie him up. Break up his rhythm, you understand? Don't let him go. You have to just run in and clinch him sometime and just break up his rhythm and walk him back. Just run in and tie him up and push him back, push him back.
CompuBox numbers on power shots in the 7th round. Taylor, 20 out of 31. Landing 65% of his power shots in that round. Ouma, 15 out of 48. After this round, the 3 judges' scores will again be recited to the house. It was 40-36 Taylor on all 3 cards after the first 4 rounds, and it wouldn't be terribly surprising if the 8th round looks like its predecessors, if the cards were similarly imbalanced after this one.
Some boxers that are used to going forward have trouble boxing backwards, so definitely Jermaine Taylor should try and push him backwards and see how he performs when he's going backwards.
Jermaine's certainly big enough and strong enough to push him backward. He can just walk him backward with the size of his body.
You know what he's doing is giving up room. And you know, Emmanuel teaches when you know step back, and throw punches when you step back.
Two good jabs for Taylor. We'll wonder if that will remind him that that is a potent weapon for him.
Emmanuel Stewart trying to remind Taylor earlier in the fight that the jab is his best punch. Once again here tonight, the jab has occasionally disappeared against a fighter who himself mostly throws power punches and leaves himself open for Taylor to throw power punches. One of the reasons Jermaine may be dispensing with the jab is that he doesn't really need it to set up his power shots. Uma's right there.
Step back.
I believe he should throw more jabs. Definitely should throw jabs because that'll keep Uma concentrating on that jab. And then when Uma's trying to duck away from the jabs, that's when you can come with the other combinations.
Uma has landed very few really meaningful punches in the fight. Taylor has landed some very showy right-hand shots. There's a big left hook and another big left hook that went with it. The ability to double the left hook would make Jermaine much more dangerous than before. Good 1-2 by Jermaine Taylor.
Off his head. Step back. All the way back.
Taylor's far more accurate with his shots tonight than he was against Hopkins and Wright. Is that entirely Lennox because Uma is a different kind of defender, maybe not a defender at all compared to Hopkins and Wright?
Well, he's right in front of you and it's easy to hit because you can always tell where he's going to be because he's right in front of you. All he has to do is let his hands go and he'll definitely get some contact in there.
Finishes the round with another big combination. Uma raises his gloves in another attempted acting job. Momentarily, we'll hear the scores from the fight.
Looked to me like he was celebrating the fact that he survived that round.
At the last half of the round, it was the first stab that I saw him giving, okay? You've been fighting off of your tiredness and rest last damn 4 rounds. He's tired. It's the first
You gotta stop him before he starts up, all right? You gotta start throwing punches, combination, put them together.
This coach gotta be mine. What about now, right now?
You gotta start throwing again, all right? Let's go. The guy is tired. Try to dig in. I want to start what?
Look like he's getting tired. He's coming in, but he's not coming in with the drive that he had before.
Scoring as follows: 70-63, 78-74, 80-72, all in favor of the champion.
Well, one judge's scorecard didn't have all 8 rounds. So we got one 7-round score of 70-63. One judge apparently found a round somewhere to give to Uma, and the other judge had it 80-72 for Taylor. Basically, what all that means is that barring some amazingly unforeseen event, Kassim Ouma needs a knockout to beat Jermaine Taylor in the fight. And now we'll get to see what the scoring is going to do to the last 4 rounds of the fight, as Jermaine Taylor knows, if you listen to the scores, that Uma can't beat him without a knockout.
And Uma is trying now to impose his conditioning, his will on Taylor.
And Taylor's just picking his spots to retaliate. And still landing when he throws big shots.
Let him go. Step back. Come on, step back.
You know, Jermaine's in a position where he's basically forced to fight because when the guys keep on coming at you and you want to back him up, you want to slow him down, you have to throw combinations in there, and that's what he's doing.
All right, Harold, your reflection on the score report at the end of the 8th round.
What Jim, I tell you honestly, I couldn't see around that Kassim Ouma won. I mean, Jermaine Taylor just keeps blasting him with those right hands. He's very good at what he does, backing up and whacking him with right hands. That's for darn sure. Kassim, as you called it, can't seem to get in an effective punch. But be as it may, you know, I think that the scoring is nothing unusual. I can't see anything unusual. Judges found 1 round to give him. I can go with that.
Actually, one judge has found 2 rounds to give to Ouma, which, you know, I agree with you. I think that's a little strange because I haven't seen him land anything significant with his hands.
All right, don't lean it on him.
And Taylor has landed significant blows in every round. But nevertheless, Taylor's ahead 80-72 on 2 of the cards, which means, again, the fight is over functionally unless Ouma can produce a knockout.
Because they were 2 fighters in their primes. Taylor 28, Ouma's going to be 28 on Tuesday. It may be a ragged fight at times, but it's spirited. They're going at it as hard as they can, trying to win in whatever way they can.
And Jermaine Taylor used up a lot of energy in the early rounds, you know, because he wanted to get him out of there.
Well, that's another thing about open scoring. I mean,
step back.
If you're going to win the first 4, win the first 8, et cetera, then you can relax. You know, it puts a real premium on the early round.
That's what I call putting it in the bank. Each round you put it in the bank like money.
Taylor got in 1 big shot after the bell. Ouma touches gloves as if to say no problem.
Grim, the guy is tired, all right? We're gonna do some magic right now, all right? Okay? Every time he holds you, try to dig his body, lean back, okay? All right?
You gotta knock him out too late.
Yeah, we are losing all kinds, okay? That's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah. Get him back. Because you can win the rounds by exploding on him near the end of the rounds because he's not that hard to hit. But try to shoot some shots from underneath some if you can. You understand? You shoot him off, I think something up underneath might will catch it the way his body is. Body or uppercut. Shoot something from underneath. Okay, just bring some shots from underneath, okay?
You heard the words from Ouma's corner, you've got to knock him out.
Well, this is the situation we discussed with Lennox Lewis on camera before the fight. 8 rounds in the bank. Actually, 9 rounds down. Taylor's way ahead. Ouma's not a knockout puncher, and his corner says you got to get a knockout.
I'll step back.
It's very hard for the Leopard to suddenly change his spots in round 10, right, Lennox?
It's difficult, you know, but he knows what he has to do. He has to try and set up a shot where he can knock him out. Whether he can do so is the question. I doubt it at this point.
He doesn't set things up, Lennox. He just fights, improvises, whatever he sees in front of him. There is no guile, and against a tough and undisciplined fighter in his own right, in Ouma, it's, you know, 2 ragged guys just ragging on each other.
And both of them at this point starting to tire. I mean, certainly Taylor has shown you in this round that he's significantly tired. May also be showing you that he's well aware that he's won the fight in the scorecards and understands that he can coast these last few rounds.
All right, step back, no punching, step back. No punching.
Uppercut for Jermaine Taylor.
And let me tell you, Emmanuel told him to throw some underneath, and Jermaine definitely was listening.
He heard it.
All right, my break, step back.
In case you did not see the first fight on our card this evening, you missed welterweight prospect Andre Berto, who throws a murderous uppercut and used it to hurt Miguel Figueroa many times.
Very explosive.
There's another one. Emmanuel knows the openings when he sees them, doesn't he?
That's what makes him the best trainer out there. You know, Emmanuel's the trainer of champions. You always need a guy outside the ring that can see things you can't see. And that's Emmanuel Stewart.
Jermaine Taylor's occasional flurries are basically still enough to win these rounds against Kassim Ouma, or should be, because Ouma can't land anything significant.
Work out, work out.
Ouma's like a boxer that will pepper you to death. He won't hurt you, but he'll throw a lot of punches and hit you a lot of times and keep the pressure on as well.
By CompuBox count, Jermaine Taylor has landed more power punches in this fight than in any previous fight, and he landed 2 big shots to punctuate that round.
That's all you got to do to keep winning your rounds with this guy. You understand? He's easy to hit, but you can't get in there trying to just punch, punch, punch. You got to place your punches. The right uppercut that I told you is working. Keep shooting that right uppercut and come back with the left hook behind it. The uppercut, this is your 11th round coming up. You understand? It's just about over. You got to talk to yourself. Right uppercut and back with the hook behind it, but the right uppercut is catching it.
All right, you got to give that to Ouma. Ouma, all right?
That's it. Okay, let's go.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we're going to see the big uppercut by JT. Straight through the guard. And Ouma once again just eating that punch.
Emmanuel Stewart not telling Taylor to just protect his lead.
Nope, wants to see him fight. CompuBox numbers in 10, Taylor 15 out of 43, including an 11-9 edge over Ouma in Power Connects. Ouma was 18 out of 57, 57 punches in a round. That's not Kassim Ouma. He has not been able to get off in this fight in any way, shape, or form close to the style he's exhibited in fights where he's thrown 1,000 punches in 12 rounds, 1,200 punches in 12 rounds, sometimes 120 or 130 punches in a round. None of that tonight.
Lennox, Taylor's on a path to fight Joe Calzaghe later this year. Calzaghe is an excellent craftsman, southpaw. Is that too tough of a fight for Taylor?
No, I think it's a great fight for Taylor. I think it's going to be a good fight. Calzaghe is looking for a good American opponent to box against. I think Jermaine Taylor is a great opponent for him, and I'm sure he's going to be looking at this fight tonight.
Calzaghe throws laser shots up the middle. Taylor's not a great defender, Lennox. Is he going to get hit the way Jeff Lacey did?
Well, I've always said styles make fights, and you know, until you see both of them in there, you can't tell what's going to happen. But it'd definitely be a fight that I would want to watch, and the fans out there definitely watch. I know Calzaghe's watching this fight, and you know, he wants that American opponent to really show the world that, and especially the American public, that the Brits can definitely do it.
Yeah, for any American fan who has missed it so far because Calzaghe hasn't fought a big fight in the United States, he's unbeaten. 40-plus wins.
Very impressive. But, you know, a lot of American people don't know him. They only know him through the Jeff Lacey fight. And
well, that was pretty good. That was one of the great performances of recent years.
Very good performance. And, you know, he wants to show more of that to the American public.
On the other hand, another possibility, of course, would be a rematch against Winky Wright. And really, he physicaled his way through the Wright fight. He got through on his roughhousing and his physicality and his ability to land enough hard punches to stay in the fight. Would he be better the second time around?
I think they both will be better the second time around because they both know each other. So, you know, things are going to get started a lot quicker for both of them. Everybody would love to see that fight again.
Well, by the time they meet, if they both go on the paths they are now, it could be 2008. And Winky will be getting older, and Taylor might be getting better.
I know Winky's looking at this fight as well, and, you know, he's going to be thinking to himself that he wants to get back in there.
And incidentally, on the subject of weight, Taylor told us yesterday he did not think it would be any problem at all to go up and fight Calzaghe at 168 in 2007 and then come back down to 160 to fight Winky Wright
Yeah, it would
again.
be an over-the-weight fight. He does not intend to leave the middleweight division.
Down to get some respect. You understand? You ain't gonna be running But this is all you got to do. Make it through this year. You got your championship still intact. All right.
Set up your punches. Let it hang out. You gotta watch him. Then set up your punches. You gotta try to take it to him. And when we're in there, you gotta throw your punches, all right? Want to be again.
Well, we wanted to see the hometown boy in a championship fight. Perhaps they're seeing more of him than they expected because this fight looks like it's going to go the distance. They don't seem disappointed.
To what degree has Jermaine Taylor's power blunted Kassim Ouma's volume punching plan? In his last 10 fights coming in, Ouma was averaging 104 punches thrown per round. That's over 10 fights. Tonight, he's thrown 58 punches per round. In other words, Taylor functionally cut him in half with his power.
You know, in a way, I commented earlier, Jim, that even though he was a champion, Taylor did not have real definition as a fighter because of the fights with Hopkins and Wright, who were so clever as veterans. But I think we're seeing the definition. He's a big, strong, not very crafty fighter, and very combative. Loves to do this, and he's going to be awfully hard to beat.
Got a big heart, got a huge will to win. Those are his greatest assets, Lennox, I think.
I think so too.
Hits Ouma again with a big right hand.
Opposite.
Jermaine Taylor has landed significant power shots in every round. He hasn't been able to get Kassim Ouma out of there. That's not terribly surprising to me, at least. Ouma has the will of a champion as well.
And Ouma hasn't lost anything in this fight in a sense because he can always go down in weight class and box the guys at a lower weight class and still be good.
Yeah, he was never in a position to make this kind of a money, making a nice payday for himself. He's come through a rough fight.
Punch out of there. Let him go.
Showed tremendous heart, really. He is still a viable opponent and fighter.
He'll earn respect in some quarters for not having gotten knocked out. Some fans who had never seen him before will be seeing him because they watch Taylor. We'll go back to 154 and do some good business.
And look, Jermaine Taylor could really coach for the rest of this fight, but he still chooses to fight. He's a fighter.
Don't punch him.
He loves to fight. This is what he loves to do.
Don't think he would know how to coast. I think he only knows how to go in there and pretty much give it his all and try.
He's won basically every round, and he doesn't really need to fight, but he's definitely giving the Arkansas fans what they deserve, and he's giving them a fight.
The seconds tick away on what is obviously a Jermaine Taylor victory over Kassim Ouma. We know that because of open scoring. Made it abundantly clear.
Kassim Ouma, happy-go-lucky guy, very nice guy. Says when he gets his passport, he wants to go to Jamaica.
Everybody wants to go to Jamaica, Lennox. They're going to the Lennox Lewis Presidential Museum or library. Got a library down there yet?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got a library, of course.
Open scoring. Here are the judges who provided the victory to Jermaine Taylor, which was effectively announced after the 8th round. Tommy Kasmarek, 77 title fights. Had Rock Montonia draw. That was the official result. Sergio Silvi, 20 title fights, at least in Italy. Had De La Hoya leading over Wilfredo Rivera in the 8th round before De La Hoya knocked Rivera out. And then Jack Woodburn, Canada, 6 title fights. Had Mayweather leading over Endo before Mayweather knocked Endo out. Their job has already been done because after the 8th round, 2 of the 3 of them had Taylor leading 80-72, sealing the deal on whether he was going to win the fight.
You can't leave me, man.
Oh, my bad. You all right?
You can't leave me, man.
Ouma was never in position to even really fantasize about the knockout he would have needed. And that was what a lot of people expected when the fight was made, and people realized Jermaine Taylor's 5 inches taller, functionally way bigger. Larry likes to say, Lennox Lewis, that he thinks Taylor's as big as any middleweight he's ever seen. He has a body that could easily go to light heavyweight.
Yes, he does. Big body, strong, powerful guy. Perfect size for his weight.
It's part of what helps him make up for the obvious lack of real championship craft.
Jermaine Taylor kind of boxes like my old trainer wanted me to box, John Davenport, who passed away. And love and everything goes out to his family. But that style, you know, that Jermaine boxes, that's his style, John Davenport style. Shuffle back.
Look at that. Kassim Ouma is wearing an I Love Larry Merchant hat. I wonder where you get that. Could it be at www.ilovelarrymerchant.com? I believe that would be the only place you would go for that kind of cap. Now that is going to be a collector's item. But now they're going to turn it around. Since Larry Merchant's going to be interviewing Jermaine Taylor as the winner, I guess, dream on worldwide. That's great. I love Larry Merchant. No one ever thought of that one before. He might mean it, too. Lennox, how come you never had that cap? All right, let's go to Michael Buffer now with the official scoring on the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Tommy Kazmarek scores it 117-111. Sergio Silva 115-113. Jack Woodburn 118-110. All to the winner by unanimous decision, and still middleweight champion of the world from Little Rock, Arkansas, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor.
So the judge, who had it 78-74 after 8 rounds, wound up coming within 1 round of calling this fight a draw. And the other scores demonstrate the degree to which Taylor backed off and coasted down the stretch after he was ahead 80-72 on 2 cards after 8 rounds. CompuBox numbers show Taylor landing at an overall 41% clip. His power punch percentage would be higher. Ouma throwing only 701 punches. That's, 300 or 400 punches less than he would have expected even on a relatively slow night against any other opponent. Power punches, Taylor landed at 46%. That's a very high clip for a guy who is the harder hitter. Ouma could only land 27% of his power punches, and none of them were really hard shots. He took many hard shots from Taylor. And Larry stands by now with middleweight champion of the world and hometown hero, Jermaine Taylor.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Jermaine. Ouma seems to think he had a moral victory by going the distance with you after you promised to knock him out or at least try. How do you feel?
I feel like he deserves, he deserves everything he's sticking right now. He came in, he fought all 12 rounds, and I give it to him. I mean, the little guy, he's a tough guy.
Did you try too hard to knock him out?
That's exactly what happened. I came in the first couple rounds, trying to knock him out. I had it in my head all night. I wanted to knock out so bad, so I think I threw myself out. But I was such in good shape, so I stayed in there.
So you're saying that you felt that you spent a little too much of your money in the early rounds and you had to pull yourself together?
I think I spent the majority of my money. I took out a loan on those last couple rounds. It was just that tough.
Give us your thoughts about coming home to Little Rock as a middleweight champion of the world and the reception you had tonight.
Coming home to Little Rock, Arkansas, I watched the crowd. It was a packed house. I mean, I watched Wicked Right Fight. I had more people on the front row than he had in the whole crowd, and it's amazing how Arkansas has come out to support me. And I thank you so much. I love you, Arkansas. Thank you.
Are you now still going on a path for 2007 towards stepping up against Joe Calzaghe?
Whoever want to fight, Larry. You know, I'm a type person. I'm in this to feed my family. You know, whoever want to fight me, come on, man. I ain't backing down from nobody. I fought the toughest fighter out there. I mean, that little guy came to fight. He came to win.
You could feed your family pretty well on what you've earned so far.
Yes, sir. But, you know,
so what is the rest of it about then?
Still feeding my family. I got to feed my kids. You know, Larry, I don't want my kids to grow up like I grew up. You know?
You grew up pretty good.
I grew up all right.
Thank you and congratulations again,
Thank you so
Jermaine.
much.
Jim?
Larry McFadden, I'm proud of you, baby.
All right, Jermaine Taylor with his own homespun wisdom on the subject of his win over Kassim Ouma. This is our last World Championship boxing telecast of what has been a tumultuous year in boxing. If you love the sport, you're going to love the memories that are generated by our look back at 2006.
From the welcome resurgence of some familiar names to the sudden emergence of brand new ones. From the ups and downs of boxing's best to the changing face of boxing's biggest. Fighters from across the landscape grabbed the spotlight in a variety of ways and made boxing as dynamic as ever in 2006.
Perfect left hook, decks by Orton. A right cross followed by a sensational left hook.
In May, Oscar De La Hoya made his electrifying return.
Where's the 20-month layoff? Where's all the ring rust? De La Hoya seldom looked better than this.
Ricardo Mayorga was the perfect opponent for him. Perfect foil, everything was perfect.
He's got the knockout. A brilliant shot.
41-year-old Bernard Hopkins turned in a vintage performance of his own when he dominated light heavyweight king Antonio Tarver, while Shane Mosley put an exclamation point on his two-fight rivalry with Fernando Vargas.
Shane hasn't looked that good in a long, long time.
The biggest surprise of 2006 was the sudden rise of journeyman Carlos Valdemir. The story began with his upset of welterweight champion Zab Judah.
He went out there against Zab Judah and he said, you know what, I don't care that you're quicker, I don't care that you're a better boxer, I want this more and I'm going to prove it.
6 months later against Arturo Gatti, his statement was even bolder.
This time, Arturo Gatti is ruined, absolutely ruined by a Valdemir left hook.
Gatti was the most exciting fighter of his generation. That title now belongs to Filipino sensation Manny Pacquiao.
Manny, the crowd chants, and he almost knocks Morales down to the left.
In January, Pacquiao avenged his 2005 loss to Mexican icon Erik Morales.
It was like somebody was going at 80 miles an hour, the other guy was at 50.
Manny Pacquiao has knocked out the great Erik Morales.
10 months later, Pacquiao needed fewer than 9 minutes to do it again.
Hard right hand, done Morales. Pacquiao's all over it. Thinks he's got a chance. Morales slightly staggered after that last left hand. And down he goes. And the brave heart of Morales holds up, but his legs go again. Third knockdown of the fight by Pacquiao against Morales.
He doesn't want to get up.
Morales shakes his head as if to say, I want no more. Manny Pacquiao has the knockout.
There's times when you need to know when you're beaten, and I think I was a beaten man tonight.
168-pound champion Joe Calzaghe also joined boxing's elite thanks to his 12-round masterpiece against Jeff Lacey.
Calzaghe's schooling of Lacey, flunking of Lacey, was a magnificent performance by a veteran boxer.
More competitive was the showdown between middleweight king Jermaine Taylor and pound-for-pound stalwart Winky Wright.
Winky Wright seemed perfectly willing to trade with younger, bigger, supposedly stronger Jermaine Taylor.
Every single round, even if you gave it to one guy or the other, was a close round.
I've never seen Winky Wright's face look like this, but I haven't seen Taylor's face look like this either.
You gotta fight with your fucking heart now. Let's go.
And this minute may decide whether Jermaine Taylor can hold on to the middleweight championship or whether Winky Wright's going to take it away.
This bout is a draw. Jermaine Taylor retains his middleweight championship.
If he wanted the title so bad, he should have fought all 12 rounds, because that's what I would have did.
I showed everybody that I'm the champ.
for the fans saw who won that fight.
Floyd Mayweather, arguably the game's greatest talent, faced a turbulent start to 2006.
There's a low blow by Judah. And now Leonard Ellerbe wants Yoel Judah. And a riot is going to break out in the ring.
A 10th round melee marred his April win over Zab Judah.
Law enforcement authorities in the ring to try to break it up. Bunch of hotheads in there.
There was Mayweather coolly in the corner, just like looking at the whole situation, and said, okay, this is going to end. We're still going to fight. And he was ready. He was ready to complete the demolition of Zab Judah.
Mayweather returned in November and put an end to Carlos Baldemir's magical run in 12 one-sided rounds.
This round has been a showcase for Floyd Mayweather's brilliant straight right hand.
With the victory, the pretty boy positions himself for a super fight with boxing's golden boy in 2007. For boxing's glamour division, 2006 was a year of transition.
His legs are gone, and that's it. It's over. It is over. He's won the fight. Omid Masaev has another knockout of Kassim Rahman.
3 of 4 heavyweight title belts now belong to fighters from former Soviet republics, a group which includes 7-foot, 320-pound Russian Nikolai Valuev.
22 guns. Barrett is outgunned and in jeopardy against the big man.
The year's most impressive heavyweight, however, was Ukrainian star Vladimir Klitschko, who challenged American title holder Chris Bird in April.
Bird's in big trouble. Got hit with a massive left hook. Another left hook. Another right hand. Bird hasn't fired back yet.
That was the longest reigning heavyweight champion amongst the various belt holders, and Klitschko just tore him apart.
He followed that up with a devastating KO of Calvin Brock.
Boom! A knockout win for Klitschko in the 7th round.
When you knock out somebody, you're doing what a heavyweight's supposed to do.
Klitschko dreams of becoming the true heavyweight champion, a feat twice accomplished by the late Floyd Patterson, a beacon of both class and dignity in and out of the ring. This year, boxing also said goodbye to Trevor Berbick, who is forever linked with the end of one iconic career and the beginning of another. While former featherweight champion Willie Pep, who notched 229 victories over the span of 26 years, forever remains one of boxing's all-time greats. Today's best strive to achieve such lasting significance. While their futures aren't certain, this much is clear. The stories of 2006 emerged from the many sides of the sport, thanks to the fighters who demanded our undivided attention and the moments which brought boxing to life.
Welcome back, live at ringside in Little Rock with Lennox Lewis. And Lennox, as we look ahead to 2007, after all those tape thrills from 2006, what are you most intrigued about in the sport this coming year?
Well, I just want to see if Vladimir Klitschko strengthens his hold on the heavyweight scene for next year. So we're going to have to wait until next year to see if he can do that.
A little belt politics first, as Klitschko on March 10 is fighting a mandatory against Ray Austin. That's not the fight we want to see as he moves toward potentially solidifying his hold onto the division. Meanwhile, we found somebody else who loves Larry Merchant, and why not? So in addition to your laudable self-love, what else is on your mind?
Well, Jim, I thought 06 had some great highlights. Mosley winning 2 knockouts, Vladimir winning a couple of knockouts, Bernard Hopkins coming back to beat Tarver for the light heavyweight championship. But for me, it was and of course De La Hoya's emotional victory over Mayorga. But for me, it was the year of Manny Pacquiao. As far as this reporter is concerned, not only boxing, but the world would be better off if every division had a Manny Pacquiao. We'd have peace in the Middle East, and global warming would cool off.
He could make the PGA Tour watchable for me. And by the way, I'll give you 50 for the hat. 50 what? Not sure. Well, it's been a great year for all of us, and we hope you've enjoyed it just as much. We can't wait to get with you in 2007. Meanwhile, we got a Boxing After Dark coming up next week. Let's take a look at the calendar as we close out our year in boxing next week with Boxing After Dark, a middleweight matchup featuring knockout artist Edison Miranda of Colombia taking on American Willie Gibbs. December 25, it's the start of HBO's Boxing's Best of 2006. Christmas night, you'll see Jermaine Taylor against Winky Wright. The next night, it's Oscar De La Hoya against Ricardo Mayorga. Bet De La Hoya. And on Wednesday the 27th, it's Manny Pacquiao and Eric Morales, 2 fights from this year. Next on HBO, stay tuned for Mike Assume the Position with Mr. Wool, followed by The Wire on the East Coast and The 40-Year-Old Virgin on the West Coast. And with a special thanks to our entire HBO crew who worked so hard for us all year long. I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Thanks, everybody.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.
Boxing After Dark ends the year with a bang, with 2 explosive bouts to determine the true contenders. First, it's a featherweight showdown when Jason Litzau puts his perfect record on the line against promising prospect Jose Hernandez. Then, in the main event, it's a middleweight clash as one of the most dynamic fighters in any division, Edison Miranda, meets the punching power of Willie Gibbs. Miranda versus Gibbs, plus Litzau versus Hernandez. It all happens live Saturday, December 16th.
Next on HBO. The creator and star of the HBO series Arliss offers an irreverent look at American history. Assume the Position with Mr. Wool. Next on HBO.